Korea's National Assembly entered the second half of its current four-year term earlier this month, bringing with the new speaker and a fresh set of political battles over committee leadership. Meanwhile, parliamentary confirmation hearings for the president's nominee for prime minister are now taking shape. Our political correspondent Moon Hye-ryeon joins me in the studio to tell us more. Welcome, Hye-ryeon.
Good evening, Dami.
Hye-ryeon, so what is the current status of the legislative leadership and how is it shaping the atmosphere in parliament?
So the second half of the 22nd National Assembly's term officially commenced on June 5th with the election of six-term lawmaker Cho Jeong-sik as the new speaker. And since taking office, Cho has wasted no time. In the 10 days since his election, he has held a series of high-level meetings with senior government figures, making it very clear that he intends to set a brisk legislative pace. Last week, he received the presidential chief of staff Kang Won-sik and outgoing Prime Minister Kim Min-seok at the National Assembly. They agreed that the Assembly needed to act swiftly on a parliamentary inquiry into the ballot paper shortage that disrupted the June 3rd local elections, an incident that drew widespread concern about the integrity of the voting process. Then on Monday, he met with Finance Minister Koo Yoon-chul, pressing the government to put a windfall of tax revenues generated by a boom in the semiconductor industry to effective use, with particular attention to persistent youth unemployment. Across all of these meetings, the Speaker has consistently signaled his intent to move legislation quickly, saying he will do his utmost to build an assembly that delivers real and tangible results for the public. He also made constitutional reform a signature goal in his inaugural remarks.
Well, the new assembly leadership also marks the start of negotiations. Who chairs which committees? Hye-ryeon, how are those talks going so far?
So with the new Speaker's leadership team now in place, the ruling Democratic Party and the main opposition People Power Party are beginning talks on how to divide up key committee chairmanships. And the biggest point of contention is the Legislation and Judiciary Committee, which acts as a final gateway for bills before they reach a full floor vote, making its chair one of the most powerful positions in the Assembly. Formal negotiations began in earnest this week, with the DP arguing that the ruling party must chair the committee to ensure that livelihood and reform legislation moves without obstruction. The PPP, for its part, points to a long-standing convention. The largest party takes the speakership and the second largest takes the Judiciary Committee chair as a check on the majority's power. The rhetoric has sharpened quickly.
The PPP's demand for the Judiciary Committee chair is nothing short of declaring a strike on the public's livelihood.
If the president's words about the need for inclusivity and openness for all are sincere, then the ruling party should first give up the Judiciary Committee chair.
Beyond the Judiciary Committee, negotiations over the chairs of committees covering financial regulation, trade and industry, and science and broadcasting are also expected to lead to friction.
And there is also a prime minister confirmation hearing in the pipeline. Hye-ryeon, where does that stand?
So earlier this month, President Lee nominated Han Sung-suk, who was the former minister for the small and medium-sized enterprises, to succeed outgoing Prime Minister Kim Min-seok. And yesterday, the DP and the PPP provisionally agreed on the membership of the 13-member Special Confirmation Committee. No date has been formally set, but June 25th and 26th are the leading candidates, since under current law, the hearing must be concluded by June 30th, which is 20 days from the date the request was submitted. The issue expected to dominate the hearing is the nominee's property holdings, with the PPP to question whether that record is consistent with President Lee's stated preference for limiting the influence of multiple homeowners in housing policy. The DP, however, will focus on her policy experience and administrative qualifications, highlighting the fact that she already underwent extensive vetting when she previously served as the Minister of SMEs and Startups.
Well, it'll be another busy week at the National Assembly. Hye-ryeon, do keep us posted. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you for having me.